Yeah.
Hello, everyone. Hi, Leanne.
Hey,
We're
Ros, how you
laughing
going?
because I'd done the start of our sequence and hit the celebrate button and everything, and I hadn't started the broadcast. So we're going to do it again. I'm going to hit the celebrate button.
And we'll go quiet again.
We are live. Oh, that is so funny.
I did notice that. I was just typing. Have you started the show yet?
No, I hadn't.
Oh, I did well. It's Tuesday morning.
Yes, now it is started. Yes, so I can go back off of that. Okay. I'm not monitoring on Facebook. I've decided I won't because of the resources that we need in the background, as in for the BeLive Studio 2 to work really well without glitches. Now that's just finished. Yeah. So hopefully there's not going to be any other glitches besides the human error that is me. That was just a bit funny.
I love it.
And you've typed it. And where did you type that? Oh, no.
I hadn't quite
deleted it.
Yeah, I hadn't quite hit enter when you came on.
Gosh. Look, and this
funny.
morning I have actually done the cross-posting. I did manage to do that just in time beforehand. And so anyone who is actually out on those other cross-posted pages, please make sure that you are clicked through to mytimetv.live where it says Tuesday's Intuitive Chat with Leanne and Ros. Okay, that is the live video that should be there at the moment. Now that I've pressed the start button, it is working. I did double check. Leanne, you've checked as well.
Yeah, we've got people, we've got comments coming in, so we've live.
Yeah. So please do double check that you're on mytimetv.live, okay, as the page, and you'll see both Leanne and I here. Now, it's one of those funny things about being human.
I love it. It's something I do. If you can't start the day off with a laugh, what can you do?
Exactly. And even today, I have actually put our names down there as well. Oh, well, whichever way the pointing goes. Because sometimes, I don't normally have our names sitting there because I know who we are. But not everybody else might know which one of us is whom. So I have done that. And we do have, you're right, there is some who are already starting to post and come in. And I've got, that was Cherie, and I have, what I'd posted to start with was welcome to the Tuesday's Intuitive Chat Day, just so that I knew I was on the right page when I was doing the posting too. And there is already some questions starting. So thanks, Tracy, for being early, and Josephine, you've posted yours early, which is really good. And they look like nice, good, detailed questions, and I really like the look of that too. Yes, so well done.
Yeah, it's one thing we do ask. You keep it direct.
Yeah.
Hey, Lynn.
And Lynn, hi, how are you? And we've got, I'm on a different, this is the problem with doing the different computers. This is called a magic mouse for a Mac, and it rolls the other way. It's a sensitive little thingy with your finger on the top, and very easy to touch it without knowing you're touching it. So, I was rolling the wrong way. So, Diana, good morning. Yeah,
good morning, honey.
It's almost the opposite. Most of what is the Mac and Apple products, when I first got one after years and years and years of being PC-based, and I got my first Mac Pro, that was, everything was the opposite way. You had the you know how you have your little cross arrow to close tabs and stuff. It was on the other side, and it was the scrolling was opposite, and so much was counter. I actually went through a culture shock just to go from one type of computer to another. It was really difficult just to start with. Now that I've got used to, I have been using the Macs and, the iPads as well now. it does get easier after time. And going back to a little borrowed portable PC laptop, oh, that was difficult at Port Elliot.
I
So,
bet.
yeah, it was. And we've got Jenny as well, who's saying
Hey, Jenny.
hello, as well as a question too, and Lily. And we've got
Good morning, Lily.
Lynn. Oh,
like
Lynn
your
was up the
smiley
top.
face.
Oh, no, that's a different Lynn. So this is where you're better at it than I am. I'm only flipping through the first names, not the last.
Yeah.
Yeah. And Jen, how are you? Oh,
Good morning, Jen.
our laughing lightens your spirit. That's lovely to know. That's wonderful.
Yeah.
And
I love
Louise,
the fact we can laugh at ourselves.
Yeah, best way to laugh at yourself first.
It is. Ros and I have a habit of doing Ros and I have a habit of doing that a lot, laughing at ourselves. It's great.
Yeah. And Lily, that's a question now. I'm not sure, did we have a Lily up the top? Yes, we did.
You said hello to her,
Yeah. And Michelle, not sure if we had a Michelle up the top.
No,
doesn't matter. Michelle. So we're getting some more questions. So that's great. And some hello. So good morning, Sans SB. That's interesting. Oh, I like your little icon. Just looking at it more closely. Beautiful pyramid there.
Honey, honey.
And Diana, how are you?
Hi,
so, oh, I just take some time to breathe. We need to breathe. Yep. We're human. So what are you up to?
Just working on online courses. Been a few clients lately, so it's been quite hectic as well. So I did a live show Saturday at Salisbury, so thank you to everyone that came out. It was an amazing night. So it's been quite hectic, but at the same time, I'm loving it. I love learning, constant learning. Yeah. So we keep growing. Yeah.
Well, we do. Yeah, we do. And even for those times, because I've had, over time, as you get into that more mature area of life, as in getting old.
I'm feeling it.
Yeah, I'm feeling it. Oh, my gosh. Yeah, the back's decided to do its thing again. I was sort of like, God. And it would be just before there was a family wedding on the weekend. So annoying. But that's what we do. If we have bodies that we need to be taken care of, and some of us do it a bit better than others. But hey, we're all individuals and have our own uniqueness. And especially as when you get back with family for family events, you sort of see some of the family traits, but it still really does emphasize how much of an individual we are. Because saw my two daughters over the weekend and realized, wow, she looks so much like me. She doesn't look like me. It's just, you sort of think, and isn't that great? But it's still, they have their own idiosyncrasies. They have their own beauties. They have their own, all the different things that we each as people have. You go back to, wow, what's our ancestry? Where does it go back to? Makes you wonder a little bit. How far back do we actually go besides, what in a Christian-based upbringing, it's Adam and Eve, but really, is it? How far back does it go? Where does it go? We'll share something
we do.
in that gene pool because we're human. I love it.
For sure.
I love it.
I do too.
So, it did get me to wondering, and especially when you start to see your grandchildren, and then you start seeing those sorts of traits in there. It really is. Yeah, it's interesting. It's fun being a grandparent as well as a grandchild. But that's we all go through our own stages, don't we? Yeah.
We do. We really do. Yeah. And we just got to be true to ourselves when we're doing that. So
and I'm just trying to find where I was up to. Well, Annette's here. Hi, Annette.
Good morning, Annette. She would like a card. She's got down.
Yeah, just started. Yeah, she's put that there. So
getting in early.
It's one of those things too, as I'm looking at that, and you're sort of thinking, well, with the vagaries, the intricacies of working around Facebook, it's interesting for me, still not being a complete fan, because things change so much. And then we went through that horror thingy of, people not being able to say share, do the like, share, spread it round and all the rest, and having to find different ways of doing that because Facebook was going to put us in little Facebook jail or not show us anywhere. And it does have an effect. I've seen that. You've seen that. But
Yeah,
it's all of that conditioning, that we're actually being conditioned to follow a certain path of somebody else's choosing. Yeah.
It is. Structure. Somebody else's structure, their conditioning, and, we're all different. We just got to honour ourselves.
Yeah, and that's why I think, well, with this one, as far as how Annette's done it, I've shared. Well, you as the audience can say that word, shared. I'm going to say it because, as far as how else do we get things out and about unless you do share information, unless you do share the content of what you find interesting and posting other people's posts. You're actually, you are sharing it and you're spreading the news that you find interesting, and that actually connects and contributes to us creating our own is it community, tribe, whatever the word is that you want to use, don't you feel?
Yeah, definitely. And see, Facebook call it engagement baiting. So they feel that a lot of people are engagement baiting, but it's really about sharing and bringing the right people together. And it's the same at the markets and stuff. I will say to people, go for a walk, go around, check out all the different readers. Those that are drawn to those people will go there. We are drawn to people for a reason. So whether we're sharing the love or engagement baiting or whatever, we're going to bring the right people together. And I think that's what it's all about.
Well, it is one of those things, isn't it? Unless you say something about what you offer and what you've got to share out, how does anybody else know that this is worth sharing? So it is. So they call it engagement baiting. Really, it's not baiting when you're sharing out what you've got. That's where Facebook.
And that's the thing, we're breaking out of those old structures, those old ways, bending over to other people's rules and stuff like that. See, I'm a big believer, and I'm sure you are, Ros, that there's got to be an exchange of energy. When we do something, yes, we do it from our hearts and we do it from, kindness. But at the same time, by asking people to share, you're getting something in return, because I want to plant a seed in people's heads in the sense that I want you to look at your life, and Spirit's drawing me to this. Take a look at your life and what you do for others. I want to ask you a question. Are you putting out more and giving more to others than what you're getting back? Because if you're finding there's more energy and more things going out into other people, and you're not receiving that energy back in one way or another, it doesn't have to be about money or whatnot. It could be just asking somebody for a hug, or, do your dishes, or they just do something for you, buy you a cup of coffee or whatever. If you don't have that balance, what are you doing energetically wise? Okay, you're throwing an imbalance into the mix. So we've got to have that balance for things to run smooth. So I want you to think about that. Yeah.
Absolutely. Okay. And I'll just pop this one up because this is Diana mentioning so true, especially about the grandkids look alike and have little quirks the way we do. It is beautiful. And it is beautiful. Just to go back when you mention about that balance of things, and it does remind me, because I was watching a little bit around the environment and that type of thing this morning. I do have to deal with something in a minute. The wells are going dry, as in dams in Queensland, New South Wales, was actually predicting some of those areas that are going to be at what they call it, ground zero or zero time or something like that, and how it's going to be dire circumstances. You sort of think, when you're giving out more than you've actually got in that well of ourselves, that's also going to be a point where that balance will mean you're letting your well run dry. You really do need to keep that full. so that it is that balance of what is our environment, our energy, in that respect. So that's just the comparison that I want to put with it as well.
Beautiful.
Sometimes, we have the card called the well come up in the Lenormand, at least, and that, there's times where I will comment that I'm feeling that you actually have to work at letting the bucket go. There's the handle there, and you've got to let the bucket go to create that. You've got to pull up from that well. It takes some work, and so too does keeping that balance for ourselves take some work. So
if you got the balance, the water tips out in the bucket sort of thing. So
and it is. Sometimes you get to the edge and you actually knock it against the thingy. So I'm just going to. I've got a message I need to send someone here, because I've got a guest link I've obviously given to somebody that is using it but doesn't know that I'm actually live on a live. I'll just send that message. It means I've actually got to. Can you start, Leanne? Are you monitoring your Facebook? Because I've got to start it up again to get the messenger so that I can send a message to this person. You see? Can you start? I'll drop down. I'll drop me down, and you'll be on your lonesome if you don't mind, just for a moment while I deal with this.
That's fine. I just won't be able to bring people's comments up, but I can.
I'm hoping not to take long.
Oh, good. Well, I'll start with Tracy. So even if you want to put Tracy's up on the screen, hun, I know that's okay. She's gone. That's okay. So Tracy says, "Hey guys, I'm moving into a new job, career, owner of a business. My advice for me would be much appreciated." Now, honey, straight away, I feel like with your energy, I want to say, oh, beautiful. Thank you, Ros. She's put the question up there. I do feel like it's about not racing into things. So I want to say, try not to take too much on at once. Focus on one thing and get that right, and get the structure set up, the system set up, and then move on to the next thing. So to me, it's about fine-tuning one thing at a time, not trying to do too much at once. Don't be afraid to ask for help as well, because I get the reference to it is about delegating. So whether there's somebody around you that can help you with some of that stuff, I just get the reference to, by setting that good foundation, things are going to flow in the right direction. So I do feel that things are really going to work out well with this change. The new change is needed, the new job. Okay. So I just get the reference to, it's about focusing on you as well in that sense. And when you do that, that's where you're going to find things are just going to flow. All right. So I wish you all the very best, Tracy, with that. Okay. Beautiful.
Oh, thanks, Leanne. No, I did it the wrong way. That's better.
Okay.
There we go. Thank you very much for that. I'll just explain. I do some mentoring with the BeLive Studio too, and I've only just started doing this. So there's one of the mentorees who still doesn't know process yet that had clicked into the link. It was one, I couldn't have them in the live here because it wasn't appropriate. I needed to just send a message. So that's one of the other things that I also do, is actually mentor for the studio too, with the BeLive, B.live. Yeah. So I just needed to explain that. So anyone, if you do decide to click that link that is on that Celebrate, when I hit the Celebrate, it is an affiliate type of a link that gives you the 30 days of free B.live Studio 2 to trial it. And that's what I love helping out with. And Leanne, you have that option too when you do your Psychic Medium, Leanne Winston Psychic Medium page as well, don't you? You've hit the Celebrate.
It is.
Yeah. So there's that option to actually take up an offer for free 30 days. And it really is a great way, like we do, of connecting with people. And that's why we do it. We love doing that connection. We love sharing what we know, what we're receiving, all of that stuff. Yeah. Rather than do the warm fuzzy stuff, you know what I mean, don't you?
Yeah, exactly. And do you know what, guys? If you've got something that you think other people are interested, why not look into doing this yourselves through Facebook and BeLive, whatnot? Because even if you're not tech savvy, and you don't really need to be, because Ros and I can do it, most people can do it, I would say. But Ros, are you willing to help other people? Like, as in, you run the dashboard for them if they wanted to do their own show?
Yeah.
So
I mean, it just depends. There may be a small fee in part of that, only because it does use data. But other than that, I'm happy to help out, get people actually moving to that point where they can run their own. But if you want me to host that part, and be the producer in the background, you too. I mean, sometimes there is small fees. You just can't expect a freebie all the time. But if it's a regular show you want to set up and do, but not have the control function in your mind and just want to run your show, it actually is a very easy process, and it gets better and better.
Yeah, that is. As much as
improvements.
That's it. As much as it is an easy process to do, when you're trying to take your Genius Zone and share it, but do that at the same time, sometimes that can get a bit much. So it's a great idea to have a producer in the background that can bring up the comments and everything, so you're focusing on what your message is in that sense. For me, I'm not in a position at the moment, time-wise, that I can offer that to people, but Ros certainly is very good with the dashboard and stuff. So,
and that's like doing the commenters I've just done there. I mean, that's because I've hosted it, is what I'm doing in the background. And there is lately a new feature function that they're trying as a beta, is the remote assistance as well, where somebody else can actually do the putting up and putting down and all of that, moving the pictures around like we can do like that and all the rest of it. So
and you don't need a big setup. I've got a ring light in front of me. If you've got a well-lit thing, you can use your camera one.
I've got 2 bedside lamps. That's all I've got in front of me on a desk.
Yep.
That's it.
Because of the I'm doing, I have gone and bought an external mic and an external camera. But, it's quite simple, really, and it's not big dollars to do it.
It is, exactly. And I've had that comment sitting there for a while now, and I still haven't read it.
Sorry, Josephine.
I'm sort of thinking, better answer this one too, I think, and then I can put it down instead of wondering, did I answer that or not? Job interview. Ooh. Yes.
I think it'll be good.
Yes.
I got a strong yes.
So it's just that, do you see me doing well in getting this job? I got the yes as well, and very frontal. So I think, yes, it's right in front. So you have very good opportunity there.
Yeah, definitely. I'm picking up the nerves and the excitement around it. So it's grounding you, honey, so don't be worried about it.
I do too. Whoa. Yeah. And just on the doing the live streaming stuff as well too, before we get right into the questions, it doesn't have to be a difficult thing to do, to place on yourself. If you've got something that you really have a passion about and like to share, that's all you need to do. Get on screen. Well, actually give me a call. I can have a chat with you around what sort of things you like to do, how I see it could be worked or possible, which direction. It's just so much possibility. It could be cooking. It could be just a craft. It could be art. It could be just a particular subject that you really like, that you want to get some information out about, whether it's to do with the drought and that sort of thing, and helping other people become more aware, and what sort of things that can be done to help them along, instead of just, carting water and buying hay. There's other things that can be done to help, emotional support and that type of thing. Even just writing letters to people just to beef them up. We don't do enough old-fashioned letter writing anymore. It's something to do.
That's it.
Actually.
It's bringing a community together. It's bringing your tribe, so to speak. I don't know. I think, Ros, you caught part of, was it Friday night? Annette and I went live. We were going live for half an hour, and I was going to do a reading for one lucky person that clicked on the link. We had this gentleman, Paul, come in, and his story
Yeah.
was amazing. He's walking from Adelaide to Canberra to raise awareness of suicide, but he was also trying to get some stuff moved through Parliament around suicide and mental health. And the support and the love, the messages that came in from complete strangers was incredible. And to connect those people together in that moment is beautiful.
Yeah.
So
And
it's amazing what you can do.
something along that line. I didn't get the start of that, and I haven't had time. Like, I'm trying not to be on Facebook for too long every day. I was just commenting to you earlier, was it to you or to Shaz? It's a time thief. So I was sort of thinking I've been deliberately less on it, more particularly because of the family weekend that we had. But it's just so often I can be here still after lunch and realise I'm still on Facebook. It's not where I want to be. I want to be putting my time into giving to others in a more particular direct way, not scattered on social media. But there is purpose, there is benefits in being here, because otherwise, if you hadn't have interviewed him, so many wouldn't have seen what he was about, wouldn't have been able to contribute, wouldn't have been able. He's got a GoFundMe page as well, hasn't he?
He has. He's got a GoFundMe
to raise some money for that. So, you know, we wouldn't have known that unless it was out in the public arena like this. And to share it to the YouTube, which, by the way, B.live, like the BeLive, will be moving into the YouTube as well as the Twitch. It's had it does have connection with Twitch as well, but that's Studio One. There's ways of doing it to be out there more than just where we are here. As you know, the Facebook, whatever you call it, they have their live stream itself.
Yeah.
Every one of them needs every one of them needs a little bit of a learning curve, but this is so easy to use across those 3 platforms at this point. And it might increase to having more of the different connections. But, you know, it's just being out there and sharing with others. It was a really good interview, that one. So I did enjoy that. Just haven't gone back to watch the replay to get the start.
And if anybody does want to go back and watch it, go over to my page, leannewinstonpsychicmedium.com. I have it pinned to the top of the page. Just a warning, you might need a box of tissues. He had us all in tears at one stage.
Yeah. So I think your Sparkle. Oh, I keep thinking of it as Sparkle site.
Facebook Spirit Sparks.
It is in the description link of the event. Sorry. I don't deliberately forget. It's just I know it sparkles because we sparkle.
We do, don't we? I love it.
That's how
I was very lucky to get that address, wasn't I?
You were. Yes, you were.
I don't know how it happened, but
oh yeah, so true. Well, it was meant to be. That's how I think things do drop into place. How I happened to be watching on the Friday when you were doing that interview, because normally I wouldn't have been on Friday nights.
That was just a last minute type thing. There was no organisation to it. It was like, okay, let's go live. Let's do a half an hour show, and just bring a live bring somebody on, I guess. And it ended up into a 90-minute show. You know, half an hour went out the window really quickly. But
it did.
So so you guys are driving along the hay plain or whatever, and you see Paul, please stop and offer him some water, because that is one of his biggest challenges, is the way he can travel,
having the water
and
supply.
the distance with nowhere in between to stop, stuff like
and it
that.
is a big stretch, hay plains.
And he's walking it with his dog, a man, a trailer, and a dog. Incredible man.
Yeah, wonderful, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yes, good works as well. Yeah. And as I saw this comment from Dee, hey, beautiful ladies, thank you. I have a message from Mum, please. Your department when we're live. But I just saw and identified with we're packing up our house and it's really hard as it's her stuff too. I fully understand. I've still got to go through some of my mum's stuff that was left because I haven't done it, and I am moving back and moving from this house and doing exactly the same. So love to you. And Leanne, what have you got from her mum?
Yeah, my heart goes out to you, honey. The moment Ros started to read your comment, Mum was pulling on my headset, so I just get the reference to she does do things like whether it's pulling on your hair or will pull on your clothing. I just get the reference to she does do that to let you know that she is very much around you. Now, I want to say be careful going through things because she's making me feel like it's not just a matter of going, yeah, this has got to go, that's got to go there. Have a look through it because I get the feeling you're going to find some memories or some important stuff in that sense. So there she goes again. She's pulling on my headset again. So I want to say, take note whether you're looking at certain things and you get that pulling on whether it's your hair, your clothes. I just get the feeling she'll do that to let you know that you need to take more notice of that stuff. Okay. She's there with you, honey. She feels your sadness and she's got a hand on her heart, which is my sign for love and pride for yourself as well. So please know Mum is around you. You feel her energy, but sometimes the grief can actually block that stuff as well. And it's okay to be moving forward. All right. So a sense of love.
Yeah. And sorry, as I was as I was moving those cards, the frames around, I did it the wrong way. But the card, and I will just drop that because the card that came forward for you was creativity, and it's around movement, the music, the writing, following up your passion, and freeing the inner child. So I think part of what the process is you're going to go through with packing up all that is that freeing, that gaining your creativity again, and all that's involved with that. So that's what I feel from that. Whoops, now I did that the wrong way too, didn't I? But that's okay. We can do that. I can do that because I'm the producer in the background.
There's so many things we can do.
And what a good demonstration of how well I can do for your show.
Yeah, but it's easy when you're only focusing on one thing, not two.
Oh, yeah. Well, I mean, if it's somebody else's show, I would not be on the screen. It would be you and your guest. It would be yourself, the way that that's done. Yeah. You know, there'd be an agenda to follow and all the rest. It'll be a little more formalised. So I'm actually sensing here with Jenny's, do you see me getting a full-time job soon? I straight away got a yes.
I get yes too.
I don't feel I even need to pull a card for that one.
I'm doing the head nod.
Yeah. Now, here's one as far as medical, seeing the surgeon, like, Leanne, you're currently being treated for a tumour in your upper intestine. You're seeing a surgeon tomorrow to see if removal is an option. They think there are tumours, but not sure where. So anything like that, you're in the right place, of course, because you're seeing the medical. You're in, you know, seeing the medicos and etc. Any insight into where others may be. So rare cancer and tumours can be as small as a grain of rice. Now, is that something that you are sensing, Leanne, or not? Because I'm feeling, I'm just feeling the sense for me is don't preempt until it's actually seen. You know, putting that negative, you know, wondering. Don't let it worry until they actually see anything. And if the scan's not picking it up, no. But are you sensing anything?
I'm with Ros. I'm sensing the same sort of thing. Please try not to overthink it because my feeling is your head is going to the worst situation in that side of it. Okay. I get this male figure around you, and I want to say a grandfather figure passed over that is trying to get my attention around that because he keeps tickling my nose. So whether you get the tickle to the nose at times. Now, my feeling is that they're going to be able to get on top of this. So I don't want to say that there's cancer spread or anything like that. My feeling is going to have a good outcome with that side of it. Okay. You're being pulled up at the moment for a reason. So I want to say the body is doing its thing to stop you, like to make you take a step back. So I want to say stop, take a step back, ground yourself and breathe and refocus. Look at the bigger picture of what is actually going on around here, okay? I get your very busy energy sort of thing. So to me, it needs to be about you and nurturing you for a little bit, okay? It's going to be okay is the feeling I get, all right? So I do feel that I will be sorry, I talk like it's me, that you will be walking out of that appointment with a sigh of relief, okay? So we wish you all the very best with it. But you're in the right place. Okay.
And this is the card. Oh, if I put it in the right place. It's a bit dark. My light's not actually shining on it all that well where I've got it sitting, but that's time. In its right time, it sorts itself. It will be sorting itself and done, dusted. They'll do the right thing with it, and etc.
Yep.
Just allow it the time.
That's it. Can I ask, honey, where are you needing to speak up? Because with your energy, I'm getting the blocked throat chakra. So you, when you may need to speak up around something at the moment. So whether it's about expressing how you're feeling or asking the right questions, I just get you need to speak up. Okay.
Yep. Oh, well, we had that one before. That was one of the hellos. And Lynn Puff. Lynn. Any messages from the other side? I'm feeling guided to pull a card.
Would you like to pull her a card? I'm just going to mute myself and have a good cough.
Yeah. That's quite fine. And I think in this instance, I'm going to see what holding the card up to the camera there is going to do. Oh, no, that's even worse with the reflection. Yeah, no, I'll put it there and I'll show that up as the single. And it's a key opening any doorways that you want to pass through. And oh wow, I've got the rose in the middle where you're saying that's where my eye's going. So it's opening up your heart as well. I'm feeling that there needs to be an opening, and you've got the key to be able to do that. So that's what I'm feeling around that. Oops, hang on. Now what do I do there? I hit the wrong button, but that's okay. Oh, good. So did you have anything further for Lynn?
Honey, I actually get the reference to a mother figure around you. So if your mum's here, I've got your grandmother stepping in, but I really feel like I'm more with a mothering figure, so a hands-on mother side of that. I just get there's a lot of love and there's a lot of pride that comes in around you with that. And go back to you, all right? So I do feel that you're one that puts out a lot more energy than what you get back. It's time to nurture you. Love you is the reference I get with that, okay? So please know you're not alone, okay? I think you're muted, Ros.
Yeah, I just realised I was because I was shuffling the cards for the next one. And I thought, this time I don't want to be heard. You were talking. You know, just a little step to expedite getting through it a bit faster. And I've got a big clock up there that says 11:11, but it's not yet. My computer says it's 11:09.
Fast.
Yeah, it is. I do it deliberately. I do, but it still is significant whenever you see the double numbers. It does. It does. Yes. So here's Louise from Canada. She's a regular, I know. So it's lovely to see you again. And anything good coming up in the near future for me? Oh, look at that. There's a time. Oh, I've got the time card again.
And it is in the timing because I get the reference to the hardest part is behind you. All right.
Yeah. I'm feeling it actually is too, like the right times now. It is time moving on. The time of what's been all those, like it's just so much. It's almost like there's a time for everything, you know, with the number of different clock faces there is a time for everything. But what my eye's going to is the one that's the main one in the centre, like that one with the red. That to me feels like it's the main one. And yes, it's time to move it along. Oh, gee, I just did something with these cards there. Yep. I've got some upside down at the front.
Have you got that card for a second, Ros? Sorry, hon.
That's if I've still got it, yeah.
Okay. The card, excuse me, is the number 37. When you look at numerology, the 37 breaks down to a 10, which is a 1, which 1 is about new beginnings. All right. So that's why Ros was talking about the clocks. That's what was catching my attention on that card as well. So now is your time.
And you actually look at the time that's on there, and it's almost at the 1 o'clock, not the 12. So that itself is a 1. So it's interesting what comes to the eye when you're actually looking at cards, which is why I love doing them now. Yeah, I've been doing the daily ones. Even if I haven't done the broadcast, I've almost always looked at them at least on a daily basis, even if I haven't done the lives. But since March, and I'm really loving that deck of cards because the eye goes to something different every time. It's never the same. And it really does give good messages. You just need to be open to it. You need to be loosening off your vision a bit just to, and the conditioned responses we have to things, to actually open to that messaging that we're receiving so that we can then incorporate that into how we're living to give it out as well. I had something beeping, but that's all right. So the next one we've got here is Lily. I don't think we've done a Lily yet, have we? Like to know if her daughter's ops on the first goes good.
Yes.
Yes.
I got a yes with that. It's just going to be standard.
Yeah, that's all I got there. I'm not feeling anything else anywhere else either. So, and we're just going to run through a few of these because they look like they're really easy to do. Oh, that sounds a rough way of saying it, but you know what I mean, don't you, Leanne?
Yeah.
Sometimes we can get it that clearly. There it is. There's the answer.
Yeah. I get yes to America, honey, but I don't think anytime soon. To me, it's in the planning and working towards it. So set your intentions. You're manifesting it, okay? It will happen. So
yeah, I got the yes as well to the America, but it's not in this year.
There's groundwork that you need to be doing now before that can fall into place, and it is about the timing and the learning.
Yeah, and checking what sort of visas or whatever it is, the process you have to go through to get into America as well. If it's for work that you're planning to go over there for, the green card process and all that sort of stuff. I don't know anything about it personally, but I know that's something that's come up in the past with, I can't think who it was. Anyway, it is a process. So we've got Sands again. Any messages from Stuart?
Oh, I just felt like I needed to take a breath reading that message. So for some reason, I'm drawing around the chest, the lungs side of it, the breathing side. All right. I get there's changes going on around you, hun. So I do get the feeling you just need to let go of the structure and allow the flow to come in. There's a lot of pride and there's a lot of love. And I keep wanting to put the music in front of you. So I don't know what the song is that you hear at times that reminds you of Stuart, but I just get this memory in the music. All right. The messages are also in that song. Okay. I just got a beautiful loving smile from him as well. So I'll leave you with his love. Thank you, honey. Excellent.
I muted myself again. I was just going to bring up the card this time. Cards, because two came up, a younger man. So is he younger or young at heart? And I'm just feeling so much wisdom. I'm just wondering if there was something only he and you knew, there's a secret that you had between you, the two of you, that you just really treasure. And he's saying, acknowledging it through that. So that's what I'm feeling with that one. So I'll just drop that down and do that again and do that again. And all these steps are very smooth when I do it for someone else. Oh, sorry around that. I'm not doing an advert for production, not at all. It's totally unplanned.
That's at the moment. That's it.
It is. And Diana, she's having people call out names in her dreams. It's happened before, but now I've noticed the air cold and my phone crackles. Weird, I know. I'm so tired in the mornings now from this. What's going on, please? I know you use a technique before you go to bed. Would you like to share more around that one?
Yeah, what I do is I set my boundaries on my bedroom. I don't do it so much now, but I trust that it's there because I've done it for a long period of time. It's the same when we protect our energy day in, day out. We start to trust that that is there without doing it. So the intention is set. So my intention is set that spirit has to stay out of my bedroom at night. They can stand at the door and wait for morning. And when the sun's up and I'm awake, then I'm happy to communicate with them. I give them that space and that time to do it. The only time they're allowed to wake me up through the night is if it's urgent and I need to listen right there and right then, sort of thing. So it's, it's setting that intention. My feeling is spirit is waking you up quite a bit at night. You are very restless at night, which is going to bring that tiredness in as well. Now, the coldness in the temperature can be spirit energy. So we can walk into a room and we can feel that coldness all of a sudden, or we might feel pressure change as well. So that is definitely spirit around us in that way. Okay. So set your intentions, tell them you need your space. You're not open to them at night time unless really needed to. It's finding a balance, huh? You'll get it. Okay.
It is. And that's what I was going to say. Look, when they are really wanting to get your attention, they will, regardless of whether you say, look, please don't connect at night, as Leanne described. So, but also you just give the instruction back to them if they're pestering, so to speak. No, not now. And they have to obey. That's pure and simple. Don't even doubt it. They are not allowed to connect if you don't want them to.
Yeah.
That's
Diane's
my belief.
I say Diane has just put a comment on the bottom just saying, so it is spirit. Yeah, it is, honey. I'm actually being drawn, as Ros was talking, to your intuition is opening up. It is important to acknowledge them. And sometimes that acknowledgement is just enough, like even in your awakening time, is enough to understand or for them to move on. Okay, if they stay, they need to get something across to you. But if you close down quite like completely, it is very common for people to get anxiety and depression when they're not listening to spirit or not understanding it. Honey, I would actually go as far as, and I'm not one to push stuff onto people. I would go as far as saying you need to learn more about this. I'm happy to help you with that. I've got an online course that I'm revamping at the moment. But if it's not me, somebody else. Just start learning wherever you're drawn to.
Okay. It is exactly that. Where you're drawn to, and even without starting your learning already yet, you have that choice of setting your boundaries right from the start anyway. Like Leanne had said, and I do so. It's our choices as to how often, what we want to do with the connection and all the rest of it.
Yep.
But as you learn more, you'll want to connect more frequently in the right frame, in the right, the right, it's not saying there's a right and wrong, but it's by your choice. You'll know what suits you best when you start learning.
That's it. And not everybody wants to be readers like Ros and I, or, whoever. Sometimes we just can't ignore that intuition. We need to acknowledge it. We need to have a balance in it. It can be just for our own personal stuff.
Exactly.
Not always an easy ride with spirit. But it's
it's not, but it is worth it. And you'll find that balance once things start rolling for you, and it gets exciting. It does.
Definitely.
And I've just thought I've got to where Annette was. Gee, I never get to doing the full set of anything, going through the full thing. Oh, whoops, I've got to put the video on for the card. You've got the letter, Annette. So you're actually finishing that the letter is communication. So there's some form of communication you're going to get through. I am feeling it is today, something that's going to mean a fairly significant talking of choices, probably the choices that you're going to have a choice with, and especially it's going to be the form of a completion of a cycle of something, because the numerology of that 2 and 7 being the 9. So that's what I'm feeling around that. And I think it is along the more personal line. It's just going to finish. I'm feeling relationship with someone's going to change out of it and have that. It feels like it's going to be in a better line, a better frame, a better, it's the improvement's going to be quite dynamic, might be the word. And I haven't got my face up there. I don't know what I've done now. If I do that, what do I do there? There we go. I think I go like that. Yes. See, I'll get better with practice.
I'm quite
Oh,
interested. I feel I just need to add to that card. I know Annette quite
mm,
well, sort of thing. So
mm,
I don't like to read to people I know quite well, but honey, I get a lot of excitement around that card. And my head, when Ros brought that card up, went to our conversation yesterday when I was heading to my destination. So
yeah,
yeah,
good.
exciting,
So good
needed.
things, good things, good things. It
Yeah,
does.
it's well
Yeah.
needed.
Yes.
Yeah.
Did we have? Oh, this is earlier on, so we would have said hello to Jessica, I'm sure. We're up to Ashley. I have actually managed to go down the list this morning, so it might make it a bit easier for me to go back later and maybe do some ad hoc readings. So don't feel disappointed if you don't get a reading today. It's one of those things that, as my description at the top says, it is a potluck, like potluck dinner. It's ad hoc, where the readings get drawn. You know, who we get, well, actually me, I get drawn to. I go down a list usually because I'm a Virgo, but sometimes it does go all over the place because a little mousey. It's a magic mousey. But today I think I have moved down the list. Just to remind you that this is the, it's a free mini reading session with chats and whatever. It's not something that we expect anybody to contact us later for free readings afterwards and all the rest. You know, it is the having the respect for what we do as our income, as our livelihoods, basically, but also what we're willingly giving out. And if you do need deeper readings, just book with who you're led to, whether it's Leanne, whether it's me, whether it's somebody else who's actually in the realms of Facebook or internet anywhere. You know, it's just being guided by who your connection is with your spirit and moving with that. So sometimes we do not get to all of them on a show like this. Leanne, you've had that experience for years of, you know, it just is one of those things. So just do remember that.
Yeah.
And respect those boundaries.
If we could get to everybody, we would. We seriously would.
Oh, we would.
It's nothing unusual to have 300-400 comments a show sometimes, if not more.
Your shows are. So. Wonderful.
We've got a few comments here.
Oh, yeah, we do. Yeah. It's just, it's that... oh, yeah, definitely. But it is, well, there's some of my earlier ones I could very easily comment on all of them because there was only a smaller number. It's as people get to know what you have to offer and what your message is and how you work and who you're attracting, that it does grow purely because that's what happens. Growth is nurturing and feeding what you have from, you know, we water our plants, we feed ourselves, we grow. You know, it's putting that emphasis in the right places so that you can actually be legitimate in who you are and not faking it for, meeting an audience expectation, because it's certainly not what we do at all. We are here, we're in our own skin, we are offering what we receive to give back out because that's the work we do. It is psychic mediumship. My mediumship needs a bit of practice. Hey, that'll grow because it will be nurtured. Once I'm settled in another place, you know, and get myself together, it's always that, but I can do it now. It's just, you know, it's allowing time for some things to grow and develop. You can't always just go and harvest as soon as you plant a seed, right?
Yep.
So it is growing and putting it into that realm of nurturing. We need to fill our well with that water too and give it out, you know, like we've spoken earlier in the show. And here's me talking with my hands.
His energy you're taking on.
I don't know. I'm crossing a mountain. No, I'm not.
I had to laugh because I've seen Annette's comment come down the bottom, the second to last comment that's on the screen at the moment. Annette says that explains your brilliant grammar skills, Ros. You're a Virgo.
Oh, yeah. And it's interesting. As I'm moving into doing the virtual assistant stuff, the emphasis will be on proofreading the purely because it's something I really enjoy. I like not the grammar Nazi part of it, but I like writing. I like the reading more than the writing, but I do enjoy writing as well. It's the I suppose it's just that I like things to flow as I was taught, and I was taught proper English, proper grammar at school, and it's something that's automatic. Most books that are reference material, which is the higher percentage of what I've read, is more reference, and you do need to be a little more exact, and you do need to have more professional writing on your website if you want people to take notice, and all that sort of. How important is it, language, when really it is only for us to be understood? And yet my Virgo likes to have the spelling right, the flow of the language right. And, it's very interesting. And I'm still using my hands.
I just noticed that. But that's just another example is the word I'm trying to look for, how we all have our strong points. Like my spelling and my grammar is crap, as a lot of people probably see on my Facebook page. But when I'm doing stuff with the importance, I will quite often drop through things to Ros for Ros to whiz over and make those corrections and stuff. And, she's incredible with her words and stuff, the way she puts stuff. For me, I can type stuff and yes, my spelling and my grammar sucks, but I can type stuff and proofread it myself. But I see it like it's a movie clip in my head. So I'm actually seeing what I'm being given, not what's actually on the physical screen like that. So I can proofread. I could read somebody's, like, my own stuff, but I'm reading it and I could be typing in different words to what my head is showing me. It's like a movie, big old driving screen inside my head that I see it typed up on, not the actual screen in front of me. So it's amazing the way we have things and the way they work. We're all good at something. It's just, finding
it so is. And you're taking my mind back to a time where, I've got everything going at the moment. It taking my mind back to when I was doing Year 12 English, like the first time. Not the second time, but when I was first doing it, so I would have been 15, 16, something like that. And one of the tasks was an essay. I can't remember if we were given a subject or not, but I thought, I just can't do this, the blank page syndrome, like an artist with the blank canvas, you just can't get started. And I thought, nah, stuff it. I just started writing, and as soon as my thought changed to something else, I was writing what the thoughts were and the changes as the changes were happening and the thoughts and everything. It was a hodgepodge. It was an absolute mess as far as an essay went. But I did get the really good comment from the teacher at the time, as far as the actual style like the composition and the grammar and all the rest of it goes, it was totally no flow or continuity or anything. It was just all over the place. But it was a very good concept of how you did it because, it was just that. I think from what I remember how he explained it, like, those snippets could be understood, but they were just the snippets. And really, our brains, I just wanted to demonstrate sometimes how fast the mind goes. The hand couldn't keep up. I could not keep up because it was handwriting back then. It wasn't, we didn't even use the typewriters for doing our writing then. No such thing as a keyboard. It was pen and paper.
So I do vaguely remember those days.
Yeah, there's a few of us that do. And it was just interesting, the concept, how fast our thoughts do go, like you're explaining with that, that like the movie screen that we're seeing at times, you couldn't just keep up with it. And even now my thoughts are going, I'm looking back at that way, the comment stream on the right-hand side. And I just noticed this one from Sands. Yeah, young at heart he was. He had many secrets. They had many secrets together, just acknowledging that feedback. Thank you for how spot on we are. And I find, and don't you, with spirit, working with spirit, just how reliable it actually is. It's us that gets the interpretations a little wonky sometimes, but it is spot on. Regardless of the tool that we use, it is spot on what you're receiving. You just need to be open to receiving those messages in that heartfelt way.
Yeah. I'm gonna say something now. I don't want to it's not coming from an ego, but on Saturday night, and when Ros was just saying that, it sort of brought, it was like a realization for me, I guess is probably the best way to say it. On Saturday night when I did a live show, I asked the crowd if there would be somebody that would like to do a video testimonial, because I'm looking at marketing and all that stuff that I'm learning about at the moment. And a lady, one of the ladies that was helping, took my phone and went off to the side with one of the lovely ladies from the audience. And for her to just sort of, listening back to it, going, Leanne's picked up on my parents' rings and how Dad's ring was split and stuff like that. To me, I just say it, I give it. It's their information to take. But I guess these days when I'm giving information, I'm not actually stopping and thinking, oh my God, it doesn't matter if it's right or wrong. It's just that flow. And it comes down for me. And when I'm teaching my students, I always say it's the trust and the surrender. And I guess when Ros was saying that, it's like, yes, I truly have learned how to surrender to spirit and just allow whatever it is that comes through, however it comes through, to be okay with that. And I guess whatever we're doing in our lives, my message, I guess, is more about whatever you're doing in your lives, just trust in what you're doing and know you're doing it from the heart and that it's coming from the right place, and things will move. There's no overthinking. There's no right or wrong.
Yeah, absolutely. And it's almost like when I'm thinking, and what came into the mind then was with tarot. The start of the story is with the zero. You're starting with that perfect circle that is a naught. You're starting with naught, and it is the full and jumping straight in. That's the start of the story in the tarot. It's the start of your life journey. You start with the naught, and you're jumping in and trusting that what you're receiving, and this is just using the cards as part, a tool. You're starting off, and then you're moving through the magician, the magic that you're gaining, and then you're moving through, I think it's Empress, Emperor, and whatever. It's been so long since I've used tarot as a set. But you're progressing through a story, through life, and it really is that you do learn that trust. We start with it being that instant we do trust, because as babies in arms, we're trusting and totally have to trust because we know nothing else. We're babes. And you start with that trust. And we need to get back to that absolute loving trust of our connection with our source, whatever name you want to call it. So
that's it.
I think it really does get back to that. And I've just noticed the time.
Yeah, I have too. But can I just touch on something, Ros, as well, because it's really pushing that. Now, I know for Ros, she's probably been there, and I guess for us in this industry, we've noticed it more, because a lot of the time we're not comfortable in our own skin. Like, we've got something that we're drawn to or we're passionate about, like as the connection with spirit and stuff like that. And I know for me, for a period of time, when I started to follow this passion, this journey that spirit had put me on, it was really hard to actually say to people what I did. There comes a time in your life where you need to be comfortable and know who you are, and just, I can say to anybody now when they ask, what do I do? I'm a psychic medium. It flows. I don't have to hesitate. I don't have to be wary of who I'm talking to or what I'm saying in that way. So I want to say, whatever you do, trust and surrender in it. Be proud of who you are, because you're given those skills no matter what. You are on that pathway for a reason. So, if you can take anything out of today and those messages, and I'm not sure why Spirit's pushing them as much as they are, I think it's really important just to be you. No judgment.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And that's how I usually finish off my daily card reading, is being the best you can be, because there's nothing else you can do. It is being the best you. And whatever tools, whatever learnings we have along that pathway, it's individual. It's where we're led. It's what Spirit's going to guide you through, being connected to the heart, from the heart to source, to whatever it is, each person has that individually. So believe that you're on your right path in being who you are to the best of your ability, and just go with that flow.
Yeah. I'm going to say, just don't believe it, live it, feel it.
Yeah.
When you feel that
it's
physical stuff,
live.
Yeah.
Believe,
Yeah.
BeLive. Oh, BeLive, BeLive. Yes. There's a roll round to it, isn't it?
It is.
Oh, dear.
I don't know what's going on with spirit today, but I feel like I'm having an aha moment.
And that's resonating so much with you, Diana. Thanks. I'm great. I'm
wonderful.
thankful that we can actually acknowledge. Well, we do. We get to that point where we do actually acknowledge for ourselves we are who we are. Regardless of everything else around us, regardless of circumstances. You know, it was only last week, or was it the week before? Anyway, not long ago, I turned 16, and you sort of think, wow, the third trimester in life, so to speak. And I'm looking forward to it. It's not something to dread or otherwise, because I've earned the right to be here. I am me. I am whatever I still choose to be, and that's the best that I can be in whatever way. So I pass that on to everybody else too, and especially, you know, we just be who we are. Yeah, it's good. It's all good.
Yeah.
And I just realised, yes, we probably better get going. There's quite a few little comments coming through. Thanks, Annette. And we're not going to get to any others of the readings as such. So thank you, Jen, and everyone else. Raywin has popped in, and she also says, look, we're both great.
Thank you, honey.
And that's where I'd actually like to say we're all great. We just need to acknowledge who we are, what we want to be doing, and be the best that we can. That not the best of it, but be the best of who we are. It's not competing with other people.
Yeah,
yes, that's it.
There's no competitive at all. There's no judgment. It's just being who you truly feel that you are and being proud of it.
Yes.
Yeah.
Thank you, Leanne, for another really good fun show. I've loved it. Thank you. And I am going to hit that little celebrate button again, just so that there is that reminder that the BeLive option is there for the 30-day free trial. Click that on mine, or when Leanne punches hers tonight or tomorrow, you'll have that option there as well. It doesn't matter who. Doesn't matter who. So thank you for being here with us today. And you're on tonight with Annette.
Yes, on at 8:30 tonight and tomorrow night. Yeah, so it'll be on BeLive tonight.
And I'm back on tomorrow at 8 a.m. for my daily card reading with the Lenormand deck. So thank you, everybody, and bye for now.
Take care. Bye.